Hey everyone, welcome back to RJK English. This one goes out to one of my students, Scott. You know who you are? Doing great. You're doing great. Um, we often talk about adapt versus adopt. And this is important for two things. One, you're going to increase your vocabulary through this. You're also going to be challenged to know how to pronounce in English, pronounce properly. Okay? So first, adapt. Adapt. Notice the spelling is different. We have A-D-A-P-T. A-D-A-P-T. And I put the, this is the phonetic spelling. Notice this letter right here. This is ash or ah. This is adopt, adopt. And this is the phonetic letter that I'm using for this. Phonetic letters are very good because they don't change their sound. Spelling in English doesn't always, it's not always the same as pronunciation. What did he say? Yeah, it never is. The spelling to pronunciation in English is very difficult. Okay, so adapt. Okay, how do I make this sound ah? First I start with E, E. Then I go to eh. So I want to think of E like beat, 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 beat. My tongue is up at the top of my mouth. E and towards the front. Beat. Then I'm going to go down a little bit from that. Bait, bait, bait. Bait. That A is a little bit lower. Almost like in Hindi, if you make this sound. A. Bait. Then there's bet, bet. You don't have this in Hindi. In a lot of languages, you don't have this one. You have bait, bait, or you have maybe be, but this one you might not have bet. So beat, bait. This is a diphthong. Bait, bet, bat. For each of these, my tongue is coming down and my mouth is getting wider. Beat, bit, bait, beat, bit, bait, bet, bat, bat. In Hindi, it's this one. Yeah, it's this one. Bat, bat. Like main hoon. Okay? Bat. Adapt. If we go a little bit further back, for adopt, we start with oo. Boot. Boot. This is in the back of the mouth, but the tongue is high. Boot. Buddha. Boot, Buddha, Buddha. In Hindi, it would be the boot, Buddha, boot, ba, bo, like boat. Then we go to ah, like bought, bought, ah. And then a little bit below that, we have like father, father, or bother. This is bother, bother. It's different. Boot. My tongue is coming down a little bit for each of these. Boot is up. Buddha. Boat, I'm open here. Bought. Now my mouth is going to open a little bit more, and my tongue is going to come more flat in my mouth. bother, bother, bought, bother, bought. My tongue is back. Bother, bother. Okay, this is the one that we are using here. So, adapt, adopt, adapt, adopt. This is the difference between these two. Okay? Now we're going to talk about what they mean. Adapt means to change something, to edit it. Adopt means to take something into your life that didn't come from you. So, for instance, people adopt children. The child is not genetically theirs, but they adopt them and make them their own child. Sometimes like Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, Rehat Fateh Ali Khan. I don't know. He is not Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan's son, but he's kind of his adopted son. Rahat Fateh Ali Khan, I think. Sorry. If I adopt children from Korea and make them my own, I'm adopting them. If I have a dog that is in a kennel, and I bring it into my home, I'm adopting that dog. So adopt versus adapt. And here's a good example. So in the US, we have adopted Korean food, Korean style food, but we have adapted it to American taste. So Korea has a style of food. America, or the US, has adopted that food, that style of food. Kimchi, bibimbap. We've adopted these things, but we have adapted them to the American taste. India has adopted the American food of hamburgers and cheeseburgers. Right? They have adopted it. It didn't come from India, but they have adapted it to Indian tastes. It's halal, maybe, for to make sure that Muslims aren't eating bad meat, or it is vegetarian to fit Indian tastes, or there's more chicken in it. It's a chicken burger to fit Indian tastes, or it has certain spices on it, or a type of ketchup that Indians like. So Indians have adopted, in India, we have adopted American style food, but we have adapted them to Indian taste. Koreans have adopted Thai food into their cuisine. They have adopted Thai food, but they adapt it to their Korean style. Japanese people have adopted some Italian cooking, but they adapt it to their style. Adopt versus adapt. I adopt a child into my home from Brazil. They are Brazilian, they're a young baby. I adopt them, I make them part of my family. But they then adapt to my style of living. They become both Brazilian and American. If they're a baby, they become fully American because they don't have any Brazilian culture. They're just tiny babies. But, if it's a young child, they would have to adapt to our culture. They would have both Brazilian culture and American culture. So I hope that is helpful. Make sure to like and subscribe. And do me a favor, share this video with one person that you know that is learning English. All right? Make sure to comment and hit me up on RJK English with any questions you have, and I will answer them. All right? See you.